Hello? Oh, I think they can hear me now. Manuela, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yes? They can hear me? Alright. Thank you. Sorry about that. Lost my voice there for a second. Thank you for coming to today's webinar about the PRM series. The series or today's webinar is based on PRM itself, the PRM series, not the PRM 100 Alpha. So we're not going to go in detail with the PRM 100 Alpha or with any other PRMs. If you want a video for a specific PRM, please let us know and then we can do that. Today is an overview of the PRM series in general. If you have any questions, please type it in the chat and we will discuss it at that time, or at the end. We can also, if you have questions, you can leave it. You can ask at the end if you want. All right, let's start with. Hope you guys can see my screen. So today's webinar, as I said, is a PRM series. The PRM series is the high-end inline process meters, high-end inline refractometers. Okay. Kind of want to do a very quick overview of the PRM versus the CM series, or the CM 100 Alpha series and the CM Base series. We have done a webinar comparing all three. We have done separate webinars for the CM Base Alpha, for the CM 100 Alpha. If you've not seen it, let us know. Send us an email. Someone will type in our email right now, and you can email us, and we'll send you a link if you don't have it. But we have separate webinars for those. But I just wanted to present like a quick overview right now because I want to contrast the PRM versus the other models that we have. So specifically here is the PRM 100 Alpha. So the PRM series has a higher, it's a high-end version. The CM 800 Alpha is mid-range, and the CM Base is the introductory model. The PRM is the full bricks range, so 0 to 100 bricks. The CM 800 Alpha is wide range. The CM Base is 0 to 33, so it's a very limited range. In terms of accuracy, the PRM 100 Alpha gives you the benchtop accuracy. The CM 800 Alpha is a mid-range, and the CM Base gives you like a handheld accuracy. So if you're talking about other instruments, the CM Base is like a master model kind of accuracy. The CM 800 Alpha is like a pallet or PR accuracy. And then the PRM is like a benchtop accuracy. All of them have RS-232C output and 420 milliamp. But where it gets different is that the PRM series has refractive index, has a user scale that you can program, has alarm output, and has a detachable display. Well, I shouldn't say detachable. The display is installed in a different location than the sensor. So as you can see from the CM Base picture, the display is with the instrument, so are the buttons. I'm going to talk about the buttons later. And so it's the CM 800 Alpha. So wherever the CM 800 Alpha or the CM Base series is installed, that's where the display is. That's where the buttons are. So once it's installed wherever it is, you'll have to go to it to access the display or to access the buttons if you want to change any settings. The PRM series is different. The sensor is installed wherever you need it to, and the display by default comes with a 15-meter cable, but it can go up to 200 meters from the installation point of the sensor. So you'll have access to the display, you'll have access to the menu, to the controls in a separate location than where the sensor is installed. Okay, so this is just like a quick overview to contrast the PRM versus the CM series. Okay. The product lineup, the PRM series, we have 4 different models. We have 2 that go connected to pipes. I think maybe the letters are too small. I'm seeing. There's a question?
Yes. What means alarm output?
Good question. Is that Manuela asking?
Yeah.
Manuela, the alarm output is, how should I explain? You can program a high limit and a low limit. So let's say you're doing a beverage, that your beverage is around 12 bricks, right? So you put a low output, a low limit of 11.5 and a high limit of 12.5 or 13. So if your beverage or your mix goes below 11.5 or higher than 12.5 or 13, then an alarm sounds. Like it's an output that's off until it goes below your limit or below your lower limit or higher than your upper limit, and then it turns on. What it turns on at the other end is up to you. It could be an alarm, it could be a light. It's just an output that's normally off until the reading, or until the reading goes beyond your limits. Let me know if you need further clarification on that. Okay. The product lineup, we have, there's a question?
Yeah. Can we do it there 4 to 12 too?
But I can do it via 4 to 20 milliamp too, right?
Correct, you can. Yes, you can do the same thing. Except that in a 4 to 20 milliamp output, you have to program the upper and the lower, and it's constantly outputting milliamps, so it's always on. The alarm option is more of a off-on kind of output, but yes, you can do it through your 4 to 20 milliamp as well. But if you're using your RS-232C, you're using your 4 to 10 milliamp, and you want an alarm, then you have a second output. So it's like a 4 to 20 milliamp, a second output, or one more output than what you're used to with the CM series. Okay, all right. Any other questions? No? Okay. So we have 4 different instruments that we're just going to overview today. Actually, this is the overview here. We're not going to go in detail with any models. The PRM 100 alpha, this is the standard model. It's a 0 to 100 bricks at 0.05 accuracy. Okay, these two go connected to pipes through a pipe fitting, via pipe fitting. The PRM 2000 alpha is a low concentration model. At very low concentration, it's a 0 to 20 bricks, the whole range. At 0 to 2 bricks, it has an accuracy of 0.007, James Bond 007. At higher than 2 bricks, it has the same accuracy as the PRM series, 0.05 accuracy. Okay, so this is very popular in Asia because, as you might have known, I'm not from Asia, and where I come from, our tea has sugar. In the US, at least the south part of the US, the teas have sugar. In my country, teas have sugar. In Japan, in Asia, a lot of teas don't have sugar. So what you have is basically water and the extract of the leaf, and that's it. So your bricks is very, very low. It's below 2 bricks. And that's why this model is very popular in Asia, because it's used for unsweetened teas. But if you have any other beverages, because most companies don't just produce one beverage or type of beverage, they produce others, then you have the range of up to 20 bricks. Most beverages do not go over 20 bricks. Any questions so far about these two? Okay. Then the other two are the tank series. PRM tank, ferrule, yeah, and flange. I think I made a mistake somewhere down the line. Both of these go installed onto the tank. The difference in installation is, well, the FER, the ferrule, is via a clamp, and the FLN is via flange. We're going to go more in detail into the flange a bit later. But as you can see, the PRM tank ferrule is 0 to 100 bricks, same as the PRM 100 alpha, and same accuracy as well. So basically, internally, it's the same instrument, except the way it fits into the tank is different. The PRM tank alpha flange is 0 to 85, so it does not go up to 100, and the accuracy is 0.01. So the same accuracy as a PAL 3. Okay. Any questions about these four? I'll give you a couple of seconds because I think I have a delay. Okay. No questions. Then I'm gonna talk about when do you need a PRM, because we already looked at other weeks before. We looked at the CM base series. We looked at the CM800 alpha series. Now we're looking at the PRM. So when do you need the PRM? When maybe when upgrading from the CM base, which is 0.5 bricks, to 0.1 bricks, and now you're looking for a higher accuracy. So you need it when you're looking for higher accuracy. Higher accuracy for some means more control over your product. For other people, it means less waste or saving money. We're gonna go more into this a bit later. You'll also need a PRM if you want to connect it to a tank. Okay, especially through the ferrule, flange. Or if you need the full range of bricks, because remember the CM800 alpha only goes up to 80 bricks. So if you have something that's more concentrated, that's higher in bricks, then you need the PRM series. You also need the PRM series if you need refractive index. The CM series do not have refractive index. Also, you have multiple scales in the PRM series. So let's say you're doing a beverage that you need to read in bricks. But then also maybe you have some chemical that you want to read. You can read it in refractive index. It has bricks and refractive index. But also it has your own scale. So if you were in the previous classes where you saw about the EG, PG, ethylene glycol, propylene glycol, urea, AdBlue, salt, all those different special scales, you could program one of those special scales on the PRM series. So you can end up with 3 different scales: bricks, refractive index, and a special scale of your choosing, your program. Okay. So if you need multiple scales, or at least more than just bricks, then you're gonna need the PRM series. Also, if the location of the sensor of where it's gonna be installed, if the location spot is in a very difficult to reach position, maybe it's high, somewhere on the 3rd floor, maybe it's not very accessible to you, that's where the display is, that's where the control is. So if the location of installation is not very accessible, then you might want to go with the PRM series, because you can install the display somewhere else. Okay, and also more control, more accessible. The PRM series has different controls that you can do on the display, on the buttons, and if you want access to those controls, you need it. You can install it somewhere else. Okay, this is just a little overview of what we just saw. The sensor is installed in a separate location, or can be installed in a separate location than the display. Standard cable that comes with it is 15 meters. It can go up to 200 meters. And this little square part at the bottom is just that the scale that you can program, the concentration scale, is PC programmable, so you can do it on a PC. Any questions so far? All right. Why do you need a PRM series? So just now we saw when do you need it. Now I'm going to talk about why you need it. if you want to lower your cost or waste, this we're gonna look at it in more detail later. But the PRM series basically has higher accuracy, 2 decimal accuracy compared to the CM series. So with that second decimal, you can control more your product. Okay, your product in terms of consistency, taste, or global identity. Taste. Some of your ingredients, so some of the ingredients used in the beverage industry, just a couple of grams more can affect the taste a lot. Okay, so if you have more accuracy, you can better control the taste from one batch to the next. Okay, consistency. Let's say it's not beverage. Let's say it's a cream or some other product. You can control the consistency of your product with having a higher accuracy refractometer. Global identity is more of a brand. For example, Monster Energy. Monster Energy is like Red Bull or like Coca-Cola. It's one of those brands where one of those drinks that you can buy in different parts of the world and they taste the same. Monster Energy is a very good customer for ATAGO. They're using ATAGO all over the world, and those factories from around the world are sending samples back to California for them to test. So even though there's factories all over the world, they're using ATAGO benchtops, and they're comparing it with the ATAGO benchtops and Inlines that are in California. And they're sending samples from wherever they are, from Japan, from other places, back to California to test, because they want the taste to be the same. It has to be the same. So the higher accuracy instruments you have, the better you can control this taste or the consistency of your product. And also, we just spoke a bit more about the alarm. It helps with more automation options. So you have RS-232C output, you have 4 to 20 milliamp, and now you have an alarm output. Okay. Again, with why you need the PRM series, minimum waste. This information is more like general inlines. That it applies for CM base, it applies for CM 100 alpha, but also to the PRM. The more inlines you have in your production flow, the more control you have over production, and the quicker you can notice if there's something wrong with the production. So if you have one instrument installed at the end of your production, at the very end to check your product, if something is wrong, you would have wasted all that raw material and manpower, and you didn't notice until the end that something was wrong with your product. So it's good that you noticed that something was wrong, but you didn't notice until the end. That's why if you have more instruments installed in the whole production process, then you can check at different intervals if everything is going well, so that you don't lose raw material. And if something is wrong, you can quickly stop and see what's wrong, fix it, and then continue. So an inline in general will save you money. Any questions so far? All right. Now, don't fall asleep on this section, okay? Please pay attention just for a couple of minutes on this. Minimizing waste. And this is the part that brings the PRM to a different level than the CM100 alpha and the CM base. CM base has an accuracy of 0.05, CM100 alpha of 0.1, PRM of 0.05. Okay, so you're moving from 1 decimal accuracy to 2 decimal accuracy. And this that I'm going to talk about right now is comparing the 1 decimal versus the 2 decimal, and then translating into how much waste you can prevent if you go with a 2 decimal inlines. Okay, so this calculation is based on 12% bricks beverage. So call it orange juice, Coca-Cola, a beverage that has 12% bricks. Okay, CM100 alpha versus PRM 100 alpha. The difference in accuracy is 0.15, because the accuracy of the CM100 alpha is plus minus 0.1. And then the accuracy of the PRM 100 alpha is plus minus 0.5. So together, the accuracy of both is, or the maximum error that you can get from both is 0.15 bricks. Okay, bricks is expressed as grams over 100 grams. So if it's 0.15 bricks, it is 0.15 grams in 100 grams. So this is your error in grams. Your error in the bricks is 0.015. Your error in grams is 0.15 grams in every 100 gram. Okay. Normal 12 ounce can or bottle of Coca-Cola has, in terms of grams, 3.2 grams, I think it is, or 2.5 grams. In terms of raw material per this accuracy, one can or glass of Coca-Cola, bottled glass of Coca-Cola, has up to 0.4 grams of raw material that is not detected if you're running a 1 decimal refractometer. So if you're only using a CM100 alpha versus a PRM 100 alpha, you are not detecting 0.54 grams of the raw material. That means it could be short, it could be too much, it's being wasted. And maybe for you, like, well, half a gram of sugar, half a gram of my raw material is not too much. But that's per bottle. Let's say you're producing 10,000 bottles a day for that factory. That's 5.4 kilos of wasted material. Okay, 5.4 kilos is the equivalent, based on it being 12 bricks. 5.4 kilos is the equivalent of 450 bottles. So you just wasted raw material for 450 bottles because you weren't measuring 2 decimals. So going from a 1 decimal inline refractometer to 2 decimals can save you a lot of raw material a day. If you have more questions about this, you can email us and I can break this down even more for you guys. Okay, next. The part that we're about to see is for the PRM 100 alpha and 2000 alpha only, because these are the instruments that are connected to a pipe. So we're going to look at the different pipe fittings, not the tank fittings. Okay. So the first thing I need to do is, which do you need? Which ending of the pipe fitting do you need? Do you need a clamp? Do you need a screw? Or do you need this other guy? Okay. The base connect, the pipe fitting from ATAGO doesn't change, because where the PRM or the CM instrument would be connected, that is the same. The PRM series, the CM800 alpha series, the same base series, they all use the same size connector. So that does not change. What changes is the diameter of the pipe and the end fittings of the pipe. So before you order a pipe fitting, you should find out if your customer is using a screw type end, a clamp, or a flange. Okay. Once you figure out which end, then you can move on to what size pipe do they have. Do they have a 1 inch, a 1.5, a 2 inch, or a 3 inch? Okay. Depending on the size of the pipe, then you have this nominal number: 1S, 1.5S, 2S, 3S. Okay. So remember, you're going to figure out first if it's a screw, clamp, or flange, and then second, the pipe size. So then you're going to use this fitting size list that you have in the catalog, and you're going to find out, all right, you have a 1 inch. A 1 inch is a 1S. You're going to look for a 1S fitting here, and then you're going to, I don't have that picture. You're going to go into the diagram of the images of the fittings that we have, and you're going to look at a 1S fitting. Okay. I'm going to skip this one. Any questions so far? All right. Then we're going to jump into the PRM tank ferrule. For this, you will need the instrument, of course, and you're going to need a tank, but you're also going to need a fitting. Okay. This fitting ATAGO does not provide. This fitting will go over this fitting over here. So you will have your tank, you need to weld open a hole, and then you're going to need to buy this fitting and weld this fitting onto the tank. Once that is installed, then you can install the PRM. Okay, so it takes a bit more work to do to install a PRM tank series. This is another drawing of the PRM tank. This is the instrument on the side. This is the instrument to the front, to the back, and at an angle. Okay. This is, let's say this is your tank. You need to weld open a hole. Then you're gonna weld the fitting. The fitting I mentioned is this one, but this is more of a 3D drawing. If you want to see a real example, it's this. You're gonna buy one of these fittings and then you're gonna install it on the tank. The instrument itself will come with this packing. It's a very big kind of O-ring, but since it's flat, we're gonna call it packing. You're gonna put the packing there, and then you're gonna put the instrument through the packing and tighten it to the fitting that you installed on the tank. So here is a image or a drawing of it installed. This wall here is the tank wall. This here with the lines is the fitting that you welded. You can't see here, but this vertical line here is the packing, and then this is the instrument, and the screws that you have on here are already installed here. That's the PRM tank installed. And that's an image of the PRM installed into a tank. For the PRM tank 100 alpha ferrule, for this model, it's the same. You're gonna have your tank, you're gonna need to buy this fitting, you're gonna need to make a hole here, you're gonna need to weld this fitting, and then you can just clamp the PRM to the fitting. And that's it. Any questions? We're almost to the end, so if you have questions, now would be the time. Okay, then we're gonna go see one last video about the cleaning options. The cleaning options for our PRMs will be either a hose connector or the US alpha. Don't have a video of the US alpha here or an image, but I'll show you how to connect the prism wiper. Okay. So this is how to install the prism wiper.
We have a question.
Yes.
For tank versions, why the difference in range and accuracy?
For
tank versions.
Oh, very good question. Not sure. I'll ask. Who's asking? Manuela?
Manolo.
I'll ask Manuela. Why did we limit the range to just 85? I had the same question. I'll get you an answer. I'm sure it has something to do with the way it fits into the tank, physically, the instrument, and also, as you could see, the accuracy is also affected. It's a 0.1 accuracy. So I'm sure it has to do with something with the structure inside, but I'll get you a clear answer. Any other questions? Nope. All right. So here's a video of the fitting. This is the fitting that you get. This one is the RE67521. Okay, as you can see on this end. Yes. Another question?
We have a different question. Does the PRM have a measurement stabilization function similar to the CM800?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it does have one. It's more of a dampening, but yes, it does. Any other question? Nope. All right. So this is the end of part of the fitting that does not change because the CM base, CM100 alpha, and PRM go connected here. At the end, you're gonna see this little circle. That's like a pin that's just put there, like a placeholder. Right now, I'm gonna be turning the fitting and then taking out that placeholder. That's the prism wiper. Okay, so you saw the little placeholder in there. It's the same size as this, so it's just holding in place the hole that will where this will fit in. And I'm just showing the clamp there, the CM100 alpha, CM base. Okay, now I'm taking off I think they call those D clamps. One question came up earlier yesterday was that if the prism wiper came with clamps. It doesn't come with clamp because this is the same clamp that you're going to use for it. So you're going to take that off, and then you're going to take off the blanking blanking plate, and then you're going to install the prism wiper and use that same clamp to hold in position. Don't forget the O-ring. O-ring is very important. If you don't install it, it's going to leak. So there's your prism wiper. I'm about to install the O-ring and put it on there, and then connect the D clamps and tighten it. Okay, now the prism wiper is installed, and I'm just showing you that angle there to show you that the tip, which is rubber, natural rubber, does go out a little, so there's space for you to push it up against the prism to clean. Okay, now I don't have a photo of the US Alpha or a video of US Alpha, but the installation is the same. It's the same as this, where you would uninstall the blanking tape, the blanking plate, and you would install the US Alpha there, and then tighten it just like we did here, and then turn it on. Well, not on until there's liquid in there. Question?
Any clever cleaning option for tank mounted refractometers?
Ah, good question. Who asked that one?
Jan, Iwan.
Jan from Poland. Good question, Jan. No, we don't have one. And it's a very good question because my personal preference is... Sorry. My personal preference... Someone's going to kill me for saying this. Is installing it on a bypass. I like installing it on a bypass because of the cleaning options. I like a bypass because on a bypass, when the instrument is on a bypass, I can install a prism wiper, I can install a US Alpha. If something is wrong, I can close off the valves and I can remove it and install a new one. There's so many, I'm very flexible. There's so many options when you have a bypass. When you have a tank, an instrument installed in the tank, you're limiting yourself. So I would only use a tank if it's a sample that I know will not give issues with cleaning, or if it's a product that people are mixing in the tank and then emptying it and doing that a few times during the day, because that way, since it's a cycle, then I can clean it during or in between cycles. If it's something that's a tank that's holding sample there for a long time and the sample can start building on the prism. Sorry, I know we've passed our allotted time. If you guys need to leave, you can leave. But this about the cleaning and the tank is very important. If you have it installed on the tank and there's a cleaning issue, you have to dump whatever is in that tank and then clean it and then start the process again, or put the products in again to measure. So cleaning when you're installing a tank is something that you should pay priority to, because you don't want to interrupt a production. If you install it on a bypass, you're less capable of interrupting production, because you can close off the instrument while production continues, and then use a PAL or use a pallet to just temporarily keep measuring while you clean or while you install a new instruments. Right now, we don't have an option to clean in tank. Something might be coming, but I can't tell you more information about that. Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, Thank you very much. I think it's a 30-second delay, so I'm just going to wait 30 seconds for you guys to see if there's any more questions. If not, please email us. Someone's going to type in the email address right now again.
We have the last one. Is the prism design the same for all inline refractometers? Size, material, structure? Is the PRM prism more durable?
Who's asking that?
Yeah.
Jan, are you going to start making your own inlines? I can't comment on the inside structure. I can say, what can I say? Each inline design is designed differently on the inside of the CCD. Everything is different, including prism. In terms of material, the PRM series has the same. John, I have to get back to you because the PRM 2000 Alpha I'm not sure of. The PRM 100 Alpha, the PRM tank has artificial sapphire. The PRM 2000 I have to check. I think it has artificial sapphire. I'm almost sure, but I need to check. The wetted material for the CM100 Alpha is also artificial sapphire.
What about the price comparison with competition? Manuel asks.
Can you share with us the price of the competition? So the PRM is one of those models that is the same kind of the competition, except the competition is more expensive. So ATAGO is the only refractometer manufacturer that gives you high-end and introductory levels and a mid-range. So we have everything for your customers. If your customer is using Maselli or Kipatins or wants something high-end, you have the PRM. If your customer has never used inlines, they want to try for the first time, they want a demo, they're not sure if they want it, they're not sure if how much money it'll save them, they don't want to invest 10,000 euros or dollars for inline because they're not sure of the benefits, then you can offer a CM base. Okay, the PRM is kind of at the same level as the competition in terms of the instrument itself, the base instrument. The competition has a lot more options. Maybe some pipe fitting options, some tank options, some steam cleaning options, which all of that go together and make the instrument a lot more expensive than the PRM. So if you're comparing it to a very base model, a PRM to their base model, then it's more or less. If you're going to compare it to one of their specialized fittings and specialized options with material of the O-ring, something special, then the competition is a lot more expensive. Sorry for the long answer. Any other questions? John? Any more questions? Okay. Well, thank you guys very much. Let us know if you want any other seminars on an instrument specifically, like the PRM or like the CM base or a special scale. We have some more coming. Thank you guys. Have a very good day.